But first, we often complain about the judiciary being out of touch, being soft and tending to side with society's worst. And then someone like Victorian County Court Judge Liz Gaynor comes along to reassure us that in some judicial quarters we seem to be in good hands. As the two prisoners who stabbed Melbourne drug dealer Tony Mockbell were being sentenced this week, the judge let them have it.
Let me tell you, gentlemen, in a few years, GFAM and the Bros are not going to do it for you. You are going to want to have families, you are going to want to have children, you are going to want to have a life. And I can tell you what this court has seen time after time with young men like you. You start off and you're heroes in jail and you've got your mates and you've got your college and you've got your bros, your college of learning as they sometimes call the jail, and you've got your bros. And then you get out of jail and you're in the big wide world and you see your brothers and sisters settle down and have jobs and families. But you can't do it. You go back on the gear because all you've got is your mates from jail.
Now, you may have seen some of this already, but something occurred to me, hit me right between the eyes when I saw the judge deliver this to her two offenders. Now, just to emphasise her point, Judge Gaynor handed both men an extra 10 years on top of the current sentences. Now, it didn't help that these 22-year-old dirtbags laughed in the judge's court. That's never a good way to bid for freedom. The judge reminded Tierra Bennett and Eldea Tiura that they almost killed Mockbell. Both were in Barwon Prison, sharing an area with Mockbell when the stabbing occurred. Judge Gaynor raged at the pair, telling them they would end up like so many of their ilk as lonely old men.
And when you're 40, you see what GFAM and the Bros do for you. You've never had a job, never had a stable relationship, no relationships with the children that you have. You will end up drug-rattled, lonely old men. And, you know, I see both of you. You may think you are heroes standing up for GFAM the way you reckon you did on this occasion. I don't care if it's the only reason you are getting any attention is because it was Tony Mockbell.
What a judge. And what a great argument. As she's got the gangster lingo down pat as well, the GFAM, Pacific Prisoner Group and Bros. But it's a lesson lost on those two. They'll be crooks for life. We do a lot of, I guess, life teaching from the bench. We try and stop people committing crime. But how much do we do about preventing crime? Think about this. How incredibly potent would messages like that be delivered by judges inside the classrooms of Australian schools? Like really gobsmacking stories from the bench about how quickly life spirals downwards when you choose a life of crime. You could have every state and territory, in conjunction with the Department of Courts, assemble a touring group of judges to deliver one of the most influential lessons teenagers could ever receive. We would save thousands of kids whose role models are non-existent, who only see one way often about making a buck illegally or violently, or even both. It wouldn't take much. Just as police visit some schools, these learned judicial officers could make themselves even more valuable. I think it's well worth considering. It's no good talking to these two scumbags. They won't change. But we could plant the seed in the minds of a young generation who could think twice about going down that path. Definitely worth considering. But what's not definitely worth considering is the health or future of Tony Mockbell. That stabbing collapsed his right lung, displaced brain tissue, fractured his skull and broke his jaw. When he recovered, he didn't assist police on the case one iota. They are all just a waste of space.